I'm about to show you a couple of my clients' portfolios and the returns. So just looking at the returns only, I'm just keen to provide some perspective on what's happening here in the markets. Now, we've had the pause on tariffs, and so this graph does not take this into account. It's yesterday's figures, so it doesn't take into account the big bump that we've seen on the Dow and also the Nasdaq, and this will roll through to the rest of the globe today as they wake up and trade. But I want to show a 1-year graph, and I'm going to show you a 2-year graph, and just to provide some perspective. And these portfolios, so there is a super fund here, and there is also a family trust. So we can see here, this is the 1-year graph, and at its peak it was at 30%, and the other one was just under 20, and then all of a sudden all these gains have come down significantly. And this is what people do. When this happens, they only remember the peak, and everything below the peak is bad. But let's go now have a look at the 2-year graph and see what that looks like. So obviously we're now talking about a 2-year graph, and you can see here that over 2 years, and this is, both these portfolios are quite US global orientated, so they've done particularly better. There's definitely Australian businesses here, but both of them peaked out around 60% over 2 years, but have now come back. So one of them is still over 40%. So if we average that out over 2 years, or even the one that's just over 30%, that is still a 15% return over the last couple of years. So the advice here is to take a step back and say, over 2 years, has the returns been sound? They've been extraordinarily sound. Now, not all my portfolios look like this. Some are well down on that, where the average for 2 years is not over 20 or over 15. It's more like 8 or 12. So it's just important to take a step back and say the returns we've had have been fantastic over the last couple of years. The correction we're having is completely normal. If it wasn't Trump, it would have been something else. So it's about making sure that you understand that the cherry is definitely off the top from where it was. And keep in mind that markets can go down a lot further than this. Obviously, we've had the big Trump bump last night, but we do not know what's ahead of us. Things can get volatile. Things are always volatile, but we can expect that it may get volatile again. But ultimately, no one knows. We're guessing. We just need to make sure we make the right decisions at the toughest times. Thanks for listening. Cheers.